Hi, in today's lesson I'm going to show you how to perform the pattern Toi-Gye Tul. Each Taekwondo technique in Toi-Gye Tul has already been covered in previous Taekwondo lessons. So check the description below to see which lesson corresponds to which technique. Now, a couple of things before we move on to the pattern. One, there is a technique that's quite tricky to perform. It involves jumping into X stance and performing a next fist pressing block, like this. In the pattern, the technique's done after a back fist side back strike done in L stance, where you're doing a low block with the front arm. Now, you're going to be jumping for height rather than length. Although you do gain a bit of length, you're going to move forward about one walking stance length forward and slightly to your left, about 1 foot length to your left. So I'll be jumping from this point to about there. Okay, so you jump for height and land in X stance. And the side view will look like this. Your body must be upright. A common mistake is to block too close and lean forward and look down. You need to look straight ahead, block more in front and have the shoulders back like this, so you're more upright. Now, most of the weight will be on your front leg with your foot pointing forward. The rear foot will touch gently and also point forward. Okay, so it's going to be like this. So practice that many times to get used to it. And another thing it's worth practicing is a combination of 3 movements where you do a knife and guarding block and then a low front snap kick, but you're going to be half facing for this kick, so it's called a side front snap kick, like that. Normally, when you do a front kick, your rear foot's pointing forward, but because we're in L stance, you're going to be having your foot pointing out to the side, your body's half facing, so that's called a side front kick. And after that, then you square up. So you kick, you square up to do a walking stance, flat fingertip thrust. Okay, so the tricky bit is to square up after the kick. You need to pivot the rear foot so it's pointing outwards 25 degrees and bring the shoulder back so you can square up much easier. So from here, you kick, square up, and thrust, and try and use sine waves. So practice that many times, and then you're ready to move on to the pattern. The pattern starts from a close ready stance type B, just like in Jirugi Tul. From there, you turn to your left, pivot slightly, do an L stance, middle block using the inner forearm. Then you move your front foot slightly back and forward, controlling the weight of the rear leg to do a walking stance, upset fingertip thrust. And then in slow motion, come back to close stance, doing a back fist side back strike. This arm's just extended, it's not a block. And then you do it the other way. The next 2 movements are done in continuous motion, so check my video on breath control to find out how to do the breathing. You bring your left leg forward, do X fist pressing block, followed by a twin fist vertical punch as a high punch. So from there, now keep the arms in that position as you do a middle front snap kick, which is at your solar plexus level. And then do a single punch when you drop the foot. Do another single punch. From there, normally when you do a pattern and you do 2 punches, it's done in fast motion, like in Dosan and Yulgok. But in Toi-Gye, they're done separately, in other words, in normal motion. Now pivot on the front leg to go to close stance and do a twin side elbow thrust, bringing your knuckles to your belt beside your waist. Now you're going to do 6 W-shaped blocks, starting with the right leg going forward into sitting stance. Stamp on each one. You're going to do 2 that way, 3 the other way, and 1 coming back this way. Once you've done all 6, bring the right foot to the left, but go half facing, so pivot the left foot. Because from there, you're going to do L stance, double forearm pushing block. Now, if you don't pivot and you just stay full facing, then you've got to turn and do the block, which is inconvenient. It's much easier just to turn a little bit here, so you're almost ready to do the block straight away. Now from here, you're going to go back and forward with the front leg to walking stance, extending the arms fully as if you're grabbing somebody's head. Now you're going to do a knee upward kick and bring the right foot to the left, then pivot with the right foot, knife hand guarding block. Here's where you do the combination I showed you earlier. Side front kick, fingertip thrust, and repeat, knife hand guarding block, side front kick, flat fingertip thrust, there's a high thrust. Step back into L stance, do a back fist, side back strike. The front arm is doing a low block. Now, I said step into it, but very often students tend to slide here. They will slide back. Avoid doing this. It's not that it's wrong to do that, but in the pattern it is. For this pattern, it's not designed for the sliding motion. Just stepping, so sink into the stance as you do it. Now, you do the X stance in jumping motion like I showed you earlier. From here, you pivot on the left foot to go to walking stance, double forearm block. That's a high block. Now pivot on the front leg into L stance, low guarding block in L stance, and then move the front foot back and forward to circular block in walking stance. Bring the feet together and repeat the other way. Low guarding block, move back and forward, circular block. You're going to do 2 more circular blocks. You're going to turn and do one there and another one back to where you were. So you need to pivot the feet, but don't shift the feet. It's a very common mistake. People move their feet out of position. It stays there, the ball of the feet stay there. So you have to raise the heels, pivot, drop the front heel down so you can do the circular block, then drop the rear heel at the end. Then do the same, raise both heels, drop the front heel as you do the circular block, drop the heel at the end. Then move the right foot to sitting stance, bring it about 1/3 to halfway in and out. Avoid going too close to the other foot, okay? No more than halfway, and punch. Middle punch in sitting stance. And from there you go back to ready stance, bringing the right to the left. So this is how the pattern will look like. So Toi-Gye Tul is usually taught to 3rd cup students, that is blue belt with red tag. The next pattern will be Forearm Tul, but it'll be a while before I cover that one because I've got to do other things. For example, teach you a few kicks like reverse turning kick and other things like 1-step sparring and 3-step semi-free sparring, plus a few other blocks and strikes. So Forearm will come up a bit later. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Thanks for watching. Hope you join me for the next one. See you next time. Bye.